young black
A young black
equestrian.
equestrian.
black equestrian.
Equestrian.
Black equestrian.
I'm a young black equestrian.
I am a young black equestrian.
Thank you so much, CBC Horses, for this review. She says, I absolutely love this podcast. It is so inspiring and inspirational to hear so many other equestrian journeys and their passion for horses. I always learn something new, and the hosts are amazing. Thanks. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Young Black Equestrians with your hosts, Abriana Johnson
And Caitlin Gooch.
Today we have my family in the house, my cousin Venita Miles. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
So we are going to learn about how Venita got into the horse industry and her journey, being a horse owner and also being in the military. So I'm excited to talk about that. So let's get started and just share something that we're thankful for today. Venita, if you want to go first.
I'm thankful for health, prosperity, and just the opportunity to be able to do what I do on a daily basis. God's given me that opportunity, so I'm blessed to have it.
It's a very good thing to be thankful for. What are you thankful for, Caitlin?
Today I'm just thankful for being alive.
Hey, that's enough. That is enough. I, today, am thankful for creative genius because I have been standing for this hat that Mr. Billy Porter wore on the red carpet somewhere on some award show. And I have a photo shoot coming up. And so I made me a hat like Billy Porter's. And it was only $15 to make.
And she made this yesterday.
And I made it, yep. I literally stayed up last night and was like, I gotta finish this.
Sent me a video at like midnight.
a little hot glue, a little faux stone ribbon, and here we are.
And it's perfect.
Wonderful, wonderful, darling.
And I just want to wear it all the time. So
You gonna wear it throughout the episode today?
I might take it off just so I can focus, because I'm like, I got
cut out the UV rays.
I know, right? Like, oh, sparkle. So yeah, that is what I'm thankful for, because my photographer's not even ready for the amount of extra that's gonna happen on Saturday.
When you go back to edit this, please, when you put it on, like do like a slow-mo insert, because when you put it on, it was like, so you gotta do a slow-mo thing.
Oh man.
I will. But yes, that is what I'm thankful for, because I was scared I wasn't gonna have enough ribbon, and I was like, oh my gosh. It worked out. So my photo shoot is on. Got my vision. It's coming to fruition.
You're not ready.
Nobody's ready. Not even me. Well, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Venita, tell us briefly where you're located, horses you have, what you do, all those things.
So I am currently located in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I show and ride walking horses, from trail riding all the way up to performance horses.
That is pretty cool. So how did you even get into horses?
Oh, so interesting. I've liked horses, loved horses for a long time. And I ended up going to a summer camp one time that had them, and I enjoyed, that was the only thing I liked doing. But of course, growing up where I was, my mom was like, yeah, no, you're not getting any, of course. So as I grew up, I was like, that's what I'm going to get when I grow up. Well, I met my husband, and prior to us getting married, the way he did his proposal was, I ended up walking up to a pasture at a friend of his house, and there was this black horse, and I was like, well, what are you showing me these horses for? And he's like, oh, I just want to know if you like this one. I was like, yeah. And so I got on it and everything like that. So when he put the bridle on, the ring was on the actual reins itself. And he was like, wait, you dropped something, you got something on your reins. And that just happened to be what it was. So I got my first horse and engaged at the same time.
That's freaking perfect.
So
Hey, men, if you're watching this episode, take note. This is how we want to be proposed to.
Exactly.
Well, both of y'all already married.
But hey, I can vouch for that.
Oh, right. So ever since then, I got into horses. I started out with quarter horses. I was doing barrels and poles, and then after that, I went to a walking horse show, and then made friends with a training instructor. Went to his barn, and the first thing you know, I'm seeing these huge performance horses. I'm like, where are these things coming? What do they do? What do they do? So I got a scheme down of how they are, what they are, and how they perform. I ended up getting on my first one and got hooked. And so from that point, I ended up getting a walking horse. I've got 6 horses at this time. I've got 1 stallion and 1 gelding. They're both performance horses. I have 4 mares, and believe it or not, they all are in the same barn. Stallion doesn't say anything. I don't think he really cares or doesn't know that he can. But anyway, so he's pretty cool with the ladies. And I just broke a 2-year-old to saddle. So that's my 8-year-old or my 13-year-old's horse. So we go trail riding. So I have trail horses, I have show flat shod horses, and then I have 2 what we call padded or performance horses.
That's cool. So how did you get on the trail ride scene here in North Carolina when you lived here?
I would say I heard my uncle, of course your dad.
I realized I asked that question and I was like, wait, did my daddy tell you that?
Yep. And he was like, you ought to come. I was like, I don't know. And so I ended up coming, and I was totally hooked on it, and ended up meeting some really, really great friends. And then come to find out I had other family that was involved in it too, that actually lived right beside my grandparents. So we loved every bit of it, always showed up as much as we could when we lived in Greenville, South Carolina. I miss it.
Oh,
ain't got nothing like that down here.
I was about to say, they probably don't.
Yeah.
Well, is it just mostly, I guess, stables and performance horses?
So they have quote unquote trail rides here, but they're not on the trail. They're on a blacktop. So they're kind of just riding the road. I call it a parade, but hey, it's a way to get together.
Yeah. And
do stuff. But the real trail rides, of course, is back home, back in the sticks, it.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of, here they have a lot of jumpers, and they have a lot of barrels and poles. This is kind of like quarter horse town, kind of like Texas.
So talk to us about, when did you get back in the States?
A year. August 27th would be a year.
Okay. So what was that whole process? Well, first of all, rewind. Tell us what you do in the military, or you don't have to tell us classified.
I'd have to dispose of you.
Yeah, I know. Don't tell us that much. Just maybe what branch. And then tell us about that journey of, having to go away and then figure out what you're going to do with your horses and then come back, and how you managed all that.
So I'm currently in recruiting. I was security forces K9 handler, but I went to a specialty career field. So now I'm in recruiting. I ended up going to Japan for 2 years. And man, I think I loved it, but the hardest thing was being away from my horses. If they could have said, "Hey, pack your horses up, you're going," I probably would have never came back.
Mhm.
But so we ended up taking our horses to a well-known trainer that's a friend of ours, and he held on to them for us. Of course, he wanted to show a few of them. I was a little skeptical because I wasn't there, and I was like, I don't know.
Mhm.
But they enjoyed. They were taken care of. They were fed and everything like that. It's just I'm very particular with my horses, so I'm calling all the time, like messaging all the time, like Zoom me, Facebook me, let me see where I gotta. And I'm like hollering at them over the phone, "Hey, Maximus," and he's like, "Where's my thing?" Like, I don't care, woman. I don't see you. Like, get my food. So that was the hardest thing, is being away from them, and the most expensive thing, being away from. We had to dial down because we had 8 before we left, and I had five stallions at that time. So we had to kind of sell a few of our stallions, just so that we can get down to a amount of horses that we could afford while being gone. And that kind of hurt, but I kept my babies, my favorite babies. And then we when we got back, we ended up getting them back. Of course, they were fine. And then we went back to normal, really.
That's cool. So didn't you tell me, were they all in the same place when you went to Japan, or were they weren't?
They were.
Is that the bird?
That is the bird. Sorry.
What kind of bird?
It's a macaw.
Yes. The macaw got to go to Japan though.
Yes, she did.
What's her name?
Her name is Catalea. You ever seen? I know. You ever seen the what is that movie? Her name was Catalea. It was this. I'll remember it later. My mind is like tore up right now. Columbiana, that's what it was.
Oh yeah. It was Zoe Saldana or something
Yes,
like that.
her name was Catalea.
Oh, that's cool.
And she takes her name to heart. Unfortunately, we call her Cat Bird. Interesting. But she eats everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Don't let her come to the table because she will eat your food.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That is too funny.
She likes wine.
What in the world? How did you discover that?
See, what had happened was I had left my glass on the floor thinking I was going to go get something, come back, and she was in my glass, like chilling, like, wine tasting. I was like, I'm gonna need you to get up out my wine glass, please.
That's funny.
That was an interview, right? Talking about the birds the girl had on her shoulders.
Oh yeah. That was yesterday. They were like some cockatiels or something. She had them on her shoulders and went to a barn and like had a lesson, and they still were there like while she was in her lesson. I'm like, are these therapy birds? Like,
right?
How they get to just go? You.
She's been on the back of a horse before. She was like, whatever, but she just stood there like, why am I on this? And the horse was looking at me like, what is that? But other than that, yeah, she's been in there. She doesn't really care to go in there, but she'll go.
Mm-hmm. So what's your setup looking like now? Are you guys like, are you boarding your horses now, or do you stay with them?
They're actually in a barn in the backyard. So I get to go out to them, see them every day.
Oh, how many acres do you live on?
5.
Mm-hmm. What is your, I mean, obviously seeing them every day, but like your favorite thing, like boarding versus having them at home? Because some people think having them at home, like, oh, it's a piece of cake, but it's like when it's snowing, you got to go. Like, you can't wait for the boarding people to do it.
So I will say, I've had them both done both the same way. I had them boarded on base before, and then I've also, like I said, have them here. I would say the best thing out of between the two is, I would say, having them home, because I can get up and, especially in the fall, get my tea, go out there, sit there and watch them play, go out and they get their pasture time, watch them run around, stuff like that. I don't have to share anything. I don't have to worry about any other horse kicking my horse. I don't have to worry about any other horses coming in with anything, giving it to my horse, so forth and so on. So I kind of like having them here. I can, if anything's sick or I can see stuff quickly. If somebody's got a tummy ache or anything like that, I can get to it quicker than I go out there 2 or 3 times a day and I don't get to check and see, versus I can see them out of my door, out of my bathroom window. So I can see, I'm like, why are you laying down? You've been laying down for the past 5 hours. Let me walk out there and find out what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
Our horses have always lived on the farm, and our house is on the farm. But sometimes my dad would like put up a wire just so they could be in our actual backyard, because he would be like, all right, let them eat the grass down or whatever. And I guess the horses thought that we was gonna feed them grain too. They would literally try to walk up our porch.
Oh yeah.
So we could definitely see them in the window and in the back door, and like, hey, y'all forgot something.
I had once before left the door open because I was like, it was a nice cool breeze and I was letting the breeze in, and there was, the flies had done died down. Literally, he walked up the steps, put his head in there, was like, oh, so this is where y'all live. I'm like, would you get out? Like, I'm like, really? What are you doing in here? And he's like, I'm like, get out. Get.
This is nice. This is nice.
I know, right?
I love your horse mannerisms. Like, they are spot on.
Yes. Clearly, around.
That's how you know a horse person.
I'm like, really? Get out.
That is hilarious.
You said something about the horses being on base. Did you mean like on base while you're in service?
Yes. So
Not
some
like
bases do have stables. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that. My husband's in the Navy. He ain't never mentioned that.
Not all bases have them. Just you have to look them up, but a few do have them.
He probably didn't mention it on purpose. Like,
I could have brought my horses here.
I'm not gonna tell her. Yeah. There's that. So you're one of 2 people that we've talked to that have walking horses in the performance arena, but you also have you have the whole gambit, like flat shod and then also performance horses. How do you balance like the criticism that comes with like padded walking horses? Because I'm barefoot because my horse we don't do nothing that needs shoes, but for someone who has like the whole range, how do you manage that? Because we know it's out there.
Right. It's knowledge. So anybody who questions or has questions, I invite them over. I have no problems with you coming through my barn, showing you, how we do train them, or how I train them, and things like that. Yeah, there are bad people, but we have to look at it from a wide perspective. There's bad people in every breed. Every breed has an issue. So at that point, it's just knowledge, and letting them know, what they do. And I've even had a friend of mine that was, very interested on how things go. So when the farrier was here, I had to come over and show her, there's not a whole bunch of nails all up in his, hoof and everything like that. They have a shoe on just like anybody else. And then that is what's attached to it with the band. And how they're cut, particularly at a 45-degree angle, so that they are set properly so that they don't get lame or anything like that. It's just an addition to the actual hoof itself. And do they wear them all year long? No, they don't. During the wintertime, mine are barefoot. They get to love love grass and go out there and play around in the pasture in the wintertime just like anybody else. It's just when the show season comes around, that's when, you know, they get prepared and prepped for show season.
I remember when you brought the horses over that one time, I think I rode Maximus and he was barefoot at the time. And holy crap. It's different. It is so different from my run-of-the-mill, I'm a trail walker, to a performance walking horse. Like, like it's no wonder like people get hooked on it, because it was like riding a freaking cloud with like jet packs on the back, but a cloud nonetheless. So I would love to. We're gonna have to come visit.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to have you.
Yes. What is your vision kind of for the future with, you know, competing and kind of with your horses?
I would say my vision, one of my dreams is to always get into what they call the big oval or do the celebration. I have not prepared myself for that yet because I haven't been back home long enough. And I have just gotten back into the industry. So I'm kind of waiting a little bit, maybe next year, to try to push for that dream. And then with the Corona and COVID thing going on, this year was kind of wonky anyway. So I kind of just drew back and was like, 6 feet. I'm just going to
grab that hat.
I know, right? 6 feet. 6 feet.
I'm just going to stay like this. And we good. So I've been doing local shows, just locally, not doing a whole bunch of long distance shows. Because again, there's some new stuff that's out right now. Like the vestibular stomatitis is moving around and running around. So I was just like, I think I'm going to stay at the house.
Disease.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
to
like,
clarify, like I don't need. Well, that is something else on top of COVID, but
right.
I'm like, they'll catch that before I catch COVID. Watch, see what happens. So I'm like, you know what? Because it's spread by mosquitoes and other stuff like that. So if you're in a show barn or at a stall where there's a whole bunch of horses, you don't know where they're coming from, and one mosquito gets one and gets to the other, then you spread it across and you have no idea. Until you get them back home, really. So I'm just like, I think we'll draw back a little bit this year, kind of stay at home, do the local shows. But while we've been doing the local shows, we have actually, let's see, my husband is first in men's gated, and then I'm first in women's gated, and then I am third out of 8 in light shot.
Nice.
Which is flat shot. So we'll be going to nationals, or what they call state championship, and we'll also be going to the show of champions.
Nice. Two things. I think it's very important that you mentioned that the vesicular stomatitis, that because like it's important for horse people to know, especially when they're wanting to go around places, like what the lay of the land is. Like, is there something going on? Are there strangles breakouts at these certain barns? Like, it's important to know kind of what the health atmosphere is in your area, so like I should not go anywhere, or it's okay. Everybody seems pretty healthy at this point, because I feel like a lot of people are just like, I want ribbons, and they can be bringing home stuff to their barn, like, and they have no idea the upkeep that it requires if something is sick in your barn.
Like when I just got my horse's seasonal shots, and the vet was like, well, do you want this shot for, I don't remember what it is, but it was some kind of flu. Because I guess it was found in some part of North Carolina. So definitely having those conversations will definitely help.
Yeah, we stay up on a lot of what's going on through our vet. And then we also, they send us information based on the actual clubs that we show with as well. So it is key to keep up with a lot of things, and even the weather. It's 99, feels like 108, 109 out here. So I get up 5 o'clock in the morning just to work a horse, and then it's going from that to, do I take them to the show? What time is the show? Is it after the sun goes down, or are we sitting out there in the heat all day? Or it starts at 1 o'clock, and here we are sitting out here sweltering. We all need ice, and is it worth it? Is a ribbon really worth it? So that's also something you have to take into consideration, because it's not all about, as I say, it's not all about you. And I tell my kids that all the time when it comes to horses. It's not about you. You have to also look out for your partner as well. He or she can't tell you, I don't want to do this because I'm overheated. I'm hot. Something's wrong. Look out for you and your partner at the same time. And they, trust me, they'll love you a whole lot more and do a lot more for you if you keep them in mind.
Yeah. Speaking of the kiddos, that was my second thing I wanted to talk about. How are the kids doing, and how did you even get them into this? Like, because some kids, aren't interested at all, but I mean, your kids came up mutton busting and like doing everything. So tell us about them kiddos.
Oh man. They all just had a knack for horses. Now some are different than others. My 8-year-old, he's like busting his behind now to go try to find a mini bronc horse to go bucking on. And then my middle son, he's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm good. I'd rather go into the walking horse world. So, and my daughter will do barrels and posts. She'll get on anything. She is my equestrian. She rides equitationally, very naturally. There's not many times I have to tell her, close your pits, put your arms down, put your elbows in, or it's almost a natural thing for her. She'll ride a padded horse in a minute. She helped break the 2-year-old, to be honest with you. She don't mind getting on them, making them mind per se, getting them to go forward, things like that. So when I need a little extra help, she doesn't mind putting her hands in the business. So and then my 13-year-old, he did do mini broncs. And my daughter did too. She's 15 now, but she did mini broncs. She was the only female, and that was fun and interesting. But she didn't let that bother her, that she was the only female in the group. She didn't care. As a matter of fact, that was her thing. She was like, if I make 8 seconds and you don't, sorry for you. Girls beat you. Girls rock, girls rule. So she's my little tomboy, but she's a dream. She's a sweetheart. Yeah, they all have a knack for horses. Love them. My 8-year-old actually rides flat shod. He's no longer doing lead line, so he's actually riding on his own. He rode his first show 2 weeks ago on his own and got first place.
Oh, that's dope.
So, and then my 13-year-old is now beginning to ride. He's switching up from barrels, poles, and mini broncs to walking horses. So once he gets good at doing what he's doing and actually pays attention, looks between the ears of the horse and stuff like that, then we'll look at buying them $100 suits for him.
Yeah. I just can't even like deal with these ages. Like, when did they get that age? Like, what do you mean 15?
He's 15 and 13 and 8 years old.
8.
Wrong. I remember, but I guess my 8-year-old is kind of my fault, because I rode horses all the way up to a week before I was due. And then I think I started riding about a week after I had him. I put him in my African Moby wrap, had my saddlebag full of diapers, and we was good. He would not sleep. If he had problems sleeping, there's 3 things to get him to sleep, and it was not driving in a car. It was a tractor, the lawnmower and riding on a horse would put him to sleep.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so precious.
He's been a horsey thing all his life.
No.
Well, that is good. That is good. Let me see what my last question is.
What advice would you give?
Yeah, you're on it. Okay. What advice would you give aspiring equestrians?
In any breed, I would say that the advice I would give is do not give up. No matter what people say, no matter what people do, or what you hear. One, always do the research for yourself. Two, do not ever settle. Don't settle for anything less than what your dreams are. And then sometimes go beyond, and just have fun at whatever you do. Don't take things so seriously to where your dreams become frustrating because it's no longer fun anymore. When it becomes no longer fun, then it's not something you want to strive for. So always have fun at what you do. First place doesn't mean everything. So having fun and going in and coming back out on top of the horse, sometimes first place.
Right.
So just set your goals realistically and love everything that you do.
Yeah. I remember my first walking horse show. You guys were there. And I was the only one in the class, so it was fine. But I was just like, we're just gonna try not to die. Like, the goal of this show is to stay on and to come in and out of the ring at a walk. Let's not run in and out of that thing.
You did good though.
Yeah, it was great.
I found that picture a couple of days ago. I was like, oh my gosh, look.
I know, he was so little. Now he's big. I don't know where this walking horse came from. He looked like a quarter horse. Like, he's just.
You should see the one that's sitting out there. He's 3 years old, and he's 17-1.
Wow.
I guess that's a misconception. A lot of people think that walking horses are like little. They can be lean. I think they're more known for being lean, but that's big.
He is. He'll turn 4 in September, and he is standing at 17.
Wow.
Right at 17-1.
Oh my goodness.
And he is the most goofiest thing.
I bet, that big and that young.
He's just like, I want no. He wants to nibble on everything. He's like, hey, what you doing? What's that? Can I have that? Is that to eat? You try to put his halter on, and he's like, oh, that's a bit. No, it's your halter. Close your mouth. He's like, I want to nibble on it. He'll walk himself. He'll take the end of the lead rope, walk himself to the wash rack. I'm like, what are you doing? Let go of it. And he's like, nope. He'll take your hat off your head if you're standing there doing something to his feet. He'll take your hat off and hold it. And he's like, you know.
Oh.
And he likes Cooler Ranch Doritos.
What in the world? How'd you find that out?
I just happened to have one, and I was like, hey, and he was like, what's that? What's that? I was like, fine, here. And he took it, ate it, and his whole lip flung up. And every time we come in there with a bag, and so I'm like, yeah. His prize when he does real good is Cooler Ranch Doritos, and the other one's like jalapeno ranch chips.
What in the world?
That's too much.
You would think bananas, apples, and they won't eat apples by themselves. They're bougie horses. I guess they became bougie at some point. I don't know when that happened, but now they won't eat regular apples. They want apples and honey, and when you don't put the honey on the apple, they won't eat it.
Doing the most.
They became bougie, so they get Sunday apple honey day. So, and they know it's Sunday when that come around. They be like, "Where are my apples with my honey?" You can get
That's cute. All right. On into the derby round. This is new. We haven't done this before. You're the first one.
Why you look over there?
first one. So this is a lightning round. You answer with the first thing that comes to mind. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
All horse related.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Okay, I'm trying.
All right. English or Western?
English.
Solids or spots?
Spots.
Bays or grays?
Grays.
Brown tack or black tack?
Black tack.
Sponges or curry brushes?
Curry brushes.
Shod or barefoot?
Shod.
Bumper pull or gooseneck?
Gooseneck.
Rope halter or nylon halter?
Rope halter.
All right. What is your favorite piece of barn equipment?
The muck rake.
That's fun.
What is your favorite piece of tack?
Bridle.
When was the last time you fell off?
2 months ago.
And if money was no object, what is the first thing you would buy?
A brand new barn.
Very good. Yay!
That was fun.
That was fun. Well, thank you so much for hopping on with us today. This was so much fun. I'm so glad we finally got to do this. And let people know where they can find you if they have any questions.
Absolutely. So you can actually find me on Facebook, Venita Miles. And you can also find me on Twitter as well.
Oh, you girl, you be on Twitter? I'm going to follow you. I just got on Twitter.
Girl, I'm learning all this tweet, Snapchat, flapjack. You know, I'm picking it up. My children are teaching me, girl. Anyway, and then yeah, just hit me up anytime.
Wait, what's your Twitter?
Girl, hold on now. You know, I ain't that good. Stand down. Hold on. See what I have. I have to send it to you because it's gonna take me a minute. I ain't got my daughter in here to show me.
You gotta find where the tweets.
Yeah,
live.
what a tweet thing is.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll put it in the episode show notes and they'll be able to tweet you.
Yeah, girl, tweet me.
Oh my goodness.
I cannot. All right. Well, go finish working on your horses. I know I caught you while you were riding, so.
You're good. I got the whole 10 o'clock thing mixed up when you said something. I was like, oh, my bad.
No, I mean, we it's been how long? I don't know, but we just be forgetting that we talk to people.
Groove of it.
Yeah, we getting back into the groove, but we talk to people all over the country. So we're like, yeah, 4 o'clock.
What time?
4 o'clock when? 4 o'clock. Oh God. Oh God.
That sounded like me when I was in Japan. I was on the radio twice a month, and man, that was crazy. We're talking to people all the way back in the States from Japan and Korea. So it was interesting.
These time zones, man. I don't even know who came up with that. Like,
I don't know.
Anyway, all right. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too. It was fun.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Young Black Equestrians. Head over to our Facebook or Instagram pages and let us know what you thought about that episode. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and have the opportunity to be featured in our next episode. See you next week.